Okay, good. So I'm here today to talk about APC Technology Group. APC was created in 1982, so it's about 33 years old. I've been with the company nearly 30 years. The company floated on the London market in 1996 and relisted onto AIM in 2002. The company now is broken down into two distinct parts. The original business, which trades as advanced power components, that is a specialist electronic component business. I'll talk about that separately. And more recently, over the last 5 or 6 years, we've been diversifying into the sustainability sector through a number of companies which are held under minimized holdings. And that's the more dynamic side of the business. So first of all, this lets me right. So the component distribution business, that was the original business that started in '82. Over the years, we've made several acquisitions, all specialist value-added distribution companies. So the theme that exists across a number of different sales teams, which maintain the brand that we created through those acquisitions, is that we always have a technical sales. We have a very technical sales force. They work with our customers and with our suppliers, who we usually represent on an exclusive basis, to spend sometimes years getting components designed into systems which will then run in production for a number of years. The specialist theme that we have across the business is that generally 2/3 of our business is in areas where the component reliability is of the utmost importance. So 2/3 of our business is generally in avionics. That's more recently, that's more civil avionics than defence. Space systems, so anytime a satellite goes up or there's some sort of space exploration vehicle, we generally have some electronics in there if it's a European program. Counter IED, so that's in the battlefield where you've got soldiers or armoured vehicles that are subject to remote detonation of landmines. Counter IED puts effectively a jamming signal around the soldier or around the vehicle to stop signals being able to get in and to detonate the bombs, or oil and gas industry. So collectively, it's anywhere where the component failure will have a catastrophic effect in one way or the other. The business represents now about 40% of our revenues. The turnover last year was about 12.5 million. It's a good, stable business. It's a good cash generator, and we intend, as we go forward, although we're very much focused on growing the more dynamic side of the business that I'll talk about in a minute, we are conscious that this adds good stability to the group. So we do intend growing this business both organically and potentially acquisitively if the opportunities arrive over the next few years. As I say, the much more dynamic side of the business, where we are seeing exciting growth more recently, is in minimized holdings. This is a holding company that holds a number of minimized branded companies and a few separate subsidiaries. First of all, why did we diversify? I mean, there's a lot of noughts there. That's $1 trillion. So the International Energy Agency put a quote out sometime last year that was basically, if we're to avoid a global temperature rise of more than 2 degrees, then investment in energy-related sustainability technologies, so that's energy efficiency or renewable generation, needs to reach $1 trillion by 2030. So at the moment, that market is valued somewhere around $400 billion. The point to this, there's a lot of noughts, who knows what the real size of the market is, but it's a very big market today, but we expect it to get very much bigger over the next few years. Going back, we were involved in the telecoms or the datacoms industry in the back end of the 1990s and early 2000s. That market came to a fairly abrupt halt. We don't see any reason that this market is going to slow down anytime soon. The model that we're creating is very different. We see in this sector there are an awful lot of companies out there that are taking market share, creating technologies, offering services which address certain parts of the sustainability agenda. We are seeing great value in building lots of expertise, lots of IP in the group that enables us to be kind of a one-stop shop to our client base. So we typically start with minimised solutions. That's a consulting sell. So we typically engage with our clients. We start to become the trusted partner. So we will help them understand their energy consumption. And once we engage with them, typically we put in a system that we have within the group, which is a wireless cloud-based monitoring and control system. So we are able to very quickly deploy a system around the building, which enables us to educate them on when and where they're consuming their energy. Once we've got the system in place, we can then start to use the data to baseline. So we've got a starting point for them when they start on a sustainability journey. But also we can start to undertake their reporting. So there are a number of ways which we help them create a blueprint for their sustainability journey that increasingly legislation is driving them forward on. So that solutions business, the first customer engagement we announced last year, is with the Royal Mail. So that's it's a long-term consulting engagement, which is looking at initially the 70 highest energy consuming sites across the Royal Mail Group. But of course, we expect that to lead further into their estate, which has got I think 1,500 buildings in total. Once we engage with a client on from minimised solutions, so in the consulting cell, the intention is that we then take them on a journey around this model. So it's shown as a wheel, and what we want to do is identify in solutions the opportunities to sell product, technology, services from elsewhere within the group. Typically, that means first of all minimise energy. Minimise energy have a range of different technologies that's led by LED lighting that can be retrofit into the existing buildings to make an immediate significant impact in their energy consumption. So it's improving efficiency. Typically, as I say, that's LED lighting, but also we're looking at boiler optimisation, air conditioning optimisation, electric motor optimisation, and we have a number of other technologies which are very specific to the main customer areas that we're looking at. So the vertical markets that we're really interested in include retail. So we have a number of product developments which are tailored specifically for the retail, which will be released over the next 6 months, 12 months. Typically, the minimised energy sale is about efficiency. That's, relatively speaking, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit there. But as we build a relationship with our customers, the next stop is generally generation. So we're looking at the estate of our clients and looking for opportunities to generate some of their energy renewably on site. So this is, again, it's about reducing their reliance on centrally supplied electricity and gas where possible. Minimised generation was actually incorporated only 2 or 3 weeks ago. We're working with a team of individuals that developed a technology which is known as PVT. So it's the standard photovoltaic panels that we're all familiar with, but it's got a cooling system on the back. That cooling system captures heat from the panel. It enables the electricity generation to be probably 20% more than you might otherwise get. But importantly, we're capturing energy on the back of the panel, and that energy can be used to satisfy the heat demand from within the building. So we see a big opportunity for environments where you have a constant hot water demand, for example. So leisure centres where you have a need for hot showers all day long and maybe swimming pool heating. The team that we have are also specialists in heat pump technology. So we're looking at a number of projects where during the summer we are taking the heat from the panels, we're burying it in the ground, extracting it using ground source heat pumps during the winter when you've got the heat demand within the building. So that's very new, but already we are quoting a number of projects to our existing customers and to a new and expanding customer base they're bringing to us. Next on the journey tends to be water. We made an acquisition in September, a company called Green Compliance. That's a UK national water hygiene and treatment company. Increasingly, their customer base was looking at water management as part of their sustainability agenda. That was interesting for us because Green Compliance had an active customer base of around about 1,000. They include the 50 biggest facilities management companies in the UK, who in turn look after potentially thousands of buildings. So We see the green compliance customer base as a sustainability-aware customer base, and we are working very hard already to promote energy efficiency and generation services into those people. So there is a real hunger, especially from the facilities management companies, to enable them to offer additional services into their clients. They typically don't want to do it themselves. They outsource most everything, and they make a small margin in the middle. So, you know, the 1,000 or so customers that we've got coming from that acquisition are ripe for energy efficiency and generation. And already, even though the acquisition was only completed during September, we're already seeing some good traction. We're seeing the first orders coming out of some fairly significant customers. So we expect that to really get traction later on in the year. The other supporting part of this model is finance. So we are looking at the reasons that energy efficiency projects in general have been slow to take off in the UK and elsewhere. The biggest hurdle has often been the lack of capital. So we have set up minimised finance. That has developed a number of different energy service agreements where we're able to put the technology into place without the customer having to find any upfront capital. Typically, that can be an off-balance sheet transaction, which is obviously attractive. So we are expecting that as these contracts are proved to meet the changes in upcoming reporting standards, then we expect this to play a fairly significant role in getting new projects off the ground. I think key to this is that this is not a pipe dream. Over the course of the last 2 years or so, we've taken orders from Morrisons to retrofit lighting across their supermarket stores, totaling in excess of 10 million. Royal Mail Group, in the last 3 or 4 months, we've announced orders which actually they now exceed 3 million. Network Rail has been growing as a customer for us. We have a number of projects which are in the pipeline with them. We've booked about 1 million, but there's significant potential on the back of that. There's another high street retailer that we've installed around about 1.5 million of LED lighting with a lot more to follow. There's another couple of high street retail organisations that we're very close to moving forward with as well. This is not just a UK operation. We have offices in Toronto and in Miami. A total of 15 people now, 15 salespeople across North America and stretching down into Latin America. That was created in October of 2013, and we're now starting to see the traction out there. And the market out there, we reckon, is about 10 times the size of the UK market. So the target customer base is similar. It's any organisation with multiple buildings, and the model and the route to success is to secure some success in 1 or 2 of those buildings, prove the business case, and then let it roll out across the portfolio of properties. So we've listed down there Wendy's. Wendy's, I don't know if it's a restaurant or I don't really think you call that a restaurant, but it's a fast food outlet, let's say. We have monitoring and control systems in there. We have LED lighting in there. It tends that like the Wendy's restaurants that I've been to anyway, they tend to be a bit tired. They've not had any investment for a number of years. So we are looking at opportunities to really spruce up the whole atmosphere and put technology in to improve their service to customers. We've got the first 100 that we're rolling out across, started in December. There's another couple of retail fast food outlet chains that we're also following into now. So we see big opportunities and that's both in North America and stretching down into Latin America, where we've had first orders from, I think, Honduras and the Dominican Republic over the course of the last month or so. Hopefully at the bottom there, that is another of the largest facilities management companies in the UK. That's on there just to show that we do business with all of these facilities management companies. The green compliance business was around 750,000 a year, but already we've identified significant upside in that through selling the energy-related services into. I've covered most of this. We see a big advantage and a big attraction for our customers in being a single point of contact for everything to do with sustainability. We are small enough and nimble enough and have the IP in-house to enable us to react very positively to kind of the intricacies of the different customers, what they're looking for. whether that's changes in product or just changes in mix. National and international, I've mentioned, with the offices that we have in North America, and the intention will be to have a business model that we can take to different geographies as time goes by. Project financing that I've mentioned, and of course this is only really possible because we are respected, certainly in the Americas. They respect the fact that we're a listed company. We've got a 32-year-old history. So to round it all up, there's an awful lot of progress at the moment in the UK across a wide base of customers, many blue chip names. We're getting good progress overseas, lots of traction with an extending customer list now. Technology, we are actively developing and looking for new technology. You know, the idea is you get your foot in the door with the customer base, and then you have a conveyor belt of technology that you can take to them. So we are very active in that area. And future growth, as well as growing the sustainability-related business, we are actively looking at ways to continue to grow the distribution business, which we think can continue to be a very firm foundation for the business going forward.